I'll start with a quick round of introductions. I am Monica and I lead the customer education initiatives here at Rocketlane. And as part of our initiatives, we have already launched Rocketlane Academy, a self learning platform for all our customers to learn Rocketlane at their own pace in their own time and also get certified as a Rocketlane expert. So it has all the nuances, all the features that we have in the system and how to best use it. So you can always learn from there whenever you want to self learn anything, and also have your team on board Rocketlane Academy and be confident with Rocketlane. The next is what we are doing right now, the webinar series, which happens bi-weekly, meaning every 15 days we will be hosting the series, and we will be picking topics that we think will benefit you the most and will promote product adoption and stickiness and make you more confident to integrate Rocketlane into your business. So that's basically our aim behind this. And as I already mentioned, and for recent joiners, we will be putting up a poll at the end of the session, which you can vote on and let us know which topics you would like to learn in the upcoming webinars. We will also have a survey. All of this is less than a minute. It will take less than a minute of your time to fill it up. So in the survey, you can actually add a comment on the exact module which you want to learn. Having said that, let me get started. And also, we have Bala, our product specialist, who is handling backstage and the chats. So if you have any questions during the course of this session, you can definitely ask us under Q&A, and she will be helping you guys. So let's get started. Okay, so all of us know we are automation is here to stay and for good, and it has always been part of our onboarding cycle. Everything we do at work, it has always been a silent partner for us, and it helps us streamline a lot of our work, which are really important but may seem repetitive. So today we are going to see how automation has and can be a part of the entire onboarding cycle, right from when the sales deal closes or even before, and until you're successful with your projects or your onboarding or your implementation with your customers. So we always talk about customers, right? So let me start off from there. The features that we build, the services we sell, the onboardings we do, all of this is to solve for customer pain points. And that is exactly where I'm coming from. So, whenever a sales cycle happens, your sales or pre sales representatives will definitely collect all the information about your customer, their pain points, their use cases, how they want a solution for their problems, and so on. But all the information need not just remain in the CRM where the client details are. They definitely need to be part of the onboarding cycle and need to be pushed to the next team that's going to take up the customer. So it's going to be the implementation team or the project delivery team, or whichever team is going to come next needs to know everything about the customer as much as a sales or a pre-sales team knows. And that's exactly why automating the entire integration between the CRM and Rocketlane or any project management tool per se is important, along with syncing up information of the clients from your CRM to Rocketlane. So that's something that is at the center of everything that we will be discussing about. And next comes team collaboration. So working in silos is never an agile way to do any work, not just project or project management or onboarding. And that's exactly why any team that is part of your customer cycle needs to have proper handoffs and checklists in place, so that none of the user information is lost in the sea of forms, sheets, or Google Drives. So you need a single source of truth to access all of this information. And that's exactly why you need to automate your entire handoff cycle from when a sales deal ends and the onboarding cycle begins. Next up is an agile method to plan your projects. So we are already aware of the fact that Rocketlane lets you templatize your project plans, and we have covered that in detail in our previous webinars. The links to those are available in the chat. You can check it out later. So with respect to agile project planning, it's always about perfect team collaboration and being responsive to varying client needs. So Rocketlane not only lets you templatize project plans and reuse them, but it also automates the project plans to be reconfigured to suit dynamic requirements of customers. So that's something that we will be covering. And next comes resources. and how they are utilized. So, planning resources is something that Rocketlane enables you to do even at the project planning stage. So, if you're completely sure about your project planning needs and the amount of effort required by your team members, the skills required by them, and the number of days they should be in the project, you can input all of those details and let Rocketlane plan the perfect team for you. And we also have a little Easter egg there, which we'll get onto in the next few minutes. Finally, keeping your customer in the loop. So it's not just about keeping them in the loop, it's always about having your customer as an active participant in all of your endeavors with respect to project management or onboarding. So having customers updated and giving them visibility on what's exactly happening in the projects, what are all the tasks that they are accountable for, and what are all the updates that are getting done on the projects is extremely important. That's something that we will be ending our session with. So this is about how automation influences and streamlines the onboarding cycle. Next is the exact training path that we will be following today, starting with how you can integrate your CRM with Rocketlane and sync all your customer information with Rocketlane, followed by how you can automate the entire handoff process between teams using our inbuilt forms feature. Next is about seamlessly integrating project plans for dynamic requirements of your customers. And then comes automating the resource planning part of your projects. And finally, having auto published project updates sent to customers at various stages in the onboarding cycle. So, this is the training path, and I know we've spoken a lot. It's a lot of theory, and you would love to see things get practical. So, I'll get started with the demo right away. So, first, as we were talking about integrations, I will start with the native integrations that Rocketlane has. So, as an admin in Rocketlane, you can set up this integration without any admin from your CRM stepping in or without any code getting written. As an admin, navigate to your avatar, select settings, scroll down and select integrations. So you can see that we have native integrations with both Salesforce and HubSpot. And if you don't see your CRM here, you can definitely use Workato or Zapier to set up an integration between Rocketlane and your CRM. So there is basically no limit for integrating your CRM with us. But for today, for example purposes, I'm going to pick HubSpot and show you how that integration is set up. So here you can see under connections, you have a button to connect to your HubSpot account, and all you need is the admin uh, credentials of HubSpot to get this connection started. It's just a click of a button. You can do it yourself. And once that's done, next comes the most important part, which is syncing your client data from your CRM into Rocketlane. So here you can see that HubSpot objects like deal, company, contact, tickets, all of them are already imported into the Rocketlane space. So you can do that by clicking on Add a HubSpot object. You can then start adding fields from HubSpot and map it to the right field in Rocketlane. So, for example, let me add a field called About Us under the company object and sync it with the Rocketlane field project notes. And the other important thing to consider here is you can just see that by clicking on the arrow, you can see the sync direction. So here it says the project notes needs to be synced back to About Us, but the actual case is you need to sync About Us section from HubSpot to Rocketlane. And if there are any notes that are getting added by your Rocketlane team members, that needs to again be synced back to HubSpot. So you can enable sync both ways option so that your data always remains in both the systems for your team members to look at and gain information from. So this is basically like a single source of truth for you where you get to see all your customer information all in one place. So once you've set up the integration and set up the field mapping, the next thing that you can do is set up your workflow in HubSpot to create a project as soon as a deal is closed in your CRM. So, as soon as a deal is closed, you can enable your automation to run and create a project in Rocketlane. So, this is a sample workflow that I set up. It's really easy to understand. Here, I've mentioned that the trigger will be when a deal stage is closed, and the action will be to create a Rocketlane project. So, here I chose my account. I set up the deal name as the project name. and set up the start date of the project as the close date of the deal. And I can also choose the template that needs to be added while creating this project. So this template is a Rocketlane template, and since the integration is already set up, you can choose from the list of templates that you have and add it to your workflow. So let me quickly save it. So this is a great way for you to set up a simple workflow to create a project right from your CRM. There is also another way to have visibility into your forward pipeline of enterprise or mid-market deals, or deals that you know are definitely going to close and you need to be prepared for. So for that, you can set up a custom status in your CRM that says almost closed one or anything of your choice, and also trigger project creation for that, so that you are completely prepared to take up projects and allocate resources even months before a deal is closing. So you get a forward looking visibility into the pipeline of projects that you have in place. So this is about integrating your CRM into Rocketlane, syncing up the fields, and creating a project from the CRM itself. So this is how it is done in HubSpot. Next, I'll also show you the Salesforce integration and how it is slightly different from HubSpot integration. You do the same steps that you did for HubSpot in Salesforce also, but instead of setting up the automation to create projects inside Salesforce, you will be setting it up inside Rocketlane itself. For example, you can go to settings, integrations, select Salesforce. Under settings, you can connect your account to the Salesforce account, sync all the fields just like how I showed you in HubSpot. And under automation, create an automation to create project from Salesforce when an opportunity is closed or one. So here is the automation that we set up. Here you can see that this is the automation that triggers when a opportunity is closed one, and you can also mention all the details that we already spoke about, like the template that's going to be used, the start date, and so on. So all of this can be done within Rocketlane itself if you have a Salesforce integration. So that's something that I wanted to quickly cover. Now, after the integration phase, we are going to move into the handoff stage. And as I already mentioned, Rocketlane already has an inbuilt form that you can utilize to do this. And just to give you a heads up, this is a very basic look of the form that we have. You can customize it to your satisfaction and make it look extremely jazzy and beautiful. So this is basically how a completed form that you hand over to your team members or customers look like. And this is basically similar to how a Google form or type form will look like. So this is what we're going to build next. And to do that, you can go to templates. As an admin, you can go to templates, choose form templates. And since we are talking about pre-sales to onboarding handoff, I'm choosing that form and I'll show you how I built it. So any form that you see here is an assembly of many form fields. And when I say form fields, it's basically the information that you collect in your form using different types of form fields. So here you can see, for example, the company name is a short text field, which allows you to have a minimum of maybe 50 characters. So if you're collecting information that is as short as a name or an email, you can go for short text. And talking about email, we do have a field dedicated for emails that you can use to gather, and phone number that you can use to gather phone numbers. Moving on, this is a very interesting field. This is a choice based field. This is a radio button basically. And when you choose this field, we give you options to build connection trees from there. So as we all know, radio buttons are the ones where you choose one among the other options that you have. And I have built a tree for the option SaaS here. So if someone chooses SaaS, I have built a connection tree that further breaks down SaaS to give more options like onboarding or custom development or any other. So this, you can see that I have made mandatory just by toggling on this button. So you can make any field in your form mandatory, so that any team, your pre-sales team or your customer who's filling it needs to complete filling that field before submitting the form. So next is, if you have a single source of truth or a place where you can access all the signed documents and SOWs or anything that is contract based or important to your project, you can definitely ask your pre-sales team to drop it as an attachment. That's the reason we also have the attachment field. It's really easy to add fields in Rocketlane. You just have to click and it'll get added here. And I've also made that mandatory so that any attachment that's less than 20 MB can be attached here. Next is another interesting field that I will show you. So this is basically a pre-existing project field. Yes, Rocketlane forms allow you to add project and task fields to your forms, and any information that gets populated on these forms will be available under project information inside your project. So this integrations required is a field that comes from my project custom fields. So you can see that I'm not able to edit this, and in order to edit this field I need to go into the custom settings and make changes there and not here. So anytime someone fills up this field, that information will get populated under your project itself. Finally, we have a paragraph field where your team can have all the notes added, use cases sent, and so on. So this is basically how easily you can build your form. And when it comes to customizing the form, we do have themes that you can make use of. So here you can see that we give you some pre-built themes. You can add your own image, go crazy with the customizations that you can do. Choose a theme that goes well with your brand, and set it up for success. So you can also add a background image that elevates the form submitter's experience. So that's basically about how you build a form. The next is the place where you use this form, and that's where our templates come. Yes. So if you have attended our previous webinars or are already savvy with Rocket10, you'll know how a template is built. And by looking at this, you can see that this is an internal template, meaning all the phases and tasks. It has only one phase. All the tasks in the phase, they're all private. So if you see an yellow tinge anywhere inside Rocket10, it means that is private and is not for the eyes of your customer. So it's just for you and your team members to collaborate on. So you can remember that when we did integrations, we chose a template with name pre-kickoff onboarding. So we are dividing the template into two parts where we have a internal part that has the handoff form, and based on the responses that come into the handoff form, we are going to automate and choose the perfect project plan for the customers. So here is an example of a internal template that for in under which I've added the form. So you just need to click add form and choose the form that needs to go in. So this is the form that we built and I've already added it. That's what is available here. So here is the place I talk about automations in Rocketlane. So automations in Rocketlane are of three types. One is native automations, meaning everything is already set up for you, like smart fills that you use to pull information from anywhere inside a project. And then we have notifications that can be sent to emails, Slacks, in-app, and so on. So all of these are existing automations. On top of it, we do have two types of automations that's super easy to understand. One is global, meaning if you set it up globally, every project will undergo the automation that was set up. So for example, if you want an entire phase to be marked as completed, on completion of all the tasks inside that phase, you can set that up as an automation to be run on all projects globally, and that will work out the way it's expected. But if you have any automations that are customer centric or are very dynamic and will suit only certain types of projects, you can set up those automations on a template level and have those automations run only on projects that use that template. So that's basically the difference between a global and a template automation. And here I am using a template automation on this form. So you have to choose the exact form or task for which you want the automation to run. And to the right hand side, you have this automation space for you to set up the automation. So click on add automation and you will be given this side pane under which you can construct your automation. So here, the trigger for my automation to kickstart is a form response getting submitted. That's exactly what you see here as well. So as soon as the pre-sales team submit their form response, this automation will trigger. However, the interesting part is how we've conditioned this form to import a project plan, which we call as template. So if you remember, while talking about the forms, I spoke about this field that the customer needs, that the pre-sales team needs to fill mandatorily. So in case they choose SaaS as the option and go for whatever type of project under SaaS, only then will we go for this automation to run and import this template. So here the condition says if the pre-sales team answer the question with SaaS as the value for industry, then you do the action of importing the SaaS onboarding template into the project. So there is a trigger that kickstarts the automation. There is a condition that gets checked and sees if your project suits the condition. And if yes, it goes ahead and imports the perfect project plan. And you can also choose when the importing of the project plan needs to be done, if it's either immediately or 1 day after or 2 days after, and so on. So don't forget to save this entire automation and also the entire template after you're done. So with using this template, a project was created. Let me show you that. So this is the project that was created using this template, and this is the form that we will be filling out to get the project plan for SaaS onboarding imported. So let me quickly fill it out and show you. So as soon as a form response is submitted, the automation will kickstart, and you can see that automatically the project plan is imported and it's populating here. So it didn't even take a few seconds. It just started doing it automatically. And you can see that whatever information that you added in the form will be part of the project info that you see here. So I think I added the integration required as yes, and that's also populating here. So any field, project field that's part of your form that you fill out will get automatically populated under project information. And if this project was created from a CRM, all the other details from the CRM will also be seamlessly linked to the project information under this project. So going back, this is how seamlessly you automate your entire handoff from your project and handoff from your pre-sales team and kickstart your project. So this is a fully developed project plan that was imported based on the response that was received. So that's about handoff and how you can set up automations to do it. The next comes are dynamic project requirements. So for, as I already mentioned, for some of you, you may already be savvy with template creation. If not, you can definitely check out our other webinar. So in this webinar, we are going to mostly concentrate on seeing how you can set up your project template dynamically for success. And before going there, I'll give you a quick tip to kind of populate all the necessary fields in your project template. So you may have project templates that have like hundreds of phases, and you might find it difficult to update each one individually. That's the reason we have bulk update, where you can select either all the tasks inside the phases or selective tasks and bulk update certain aspects of your template. Like let me update the effort as 3 hours, and you can see that change immediately. And I can also set assignees in bulk, or set up the billing category as yes or no in bulk, and so on. So to remind you, duration of the project, assignees in the project, and efforts involved in the project are extremely important for any project to have a robust plan. And if you're doing it in bulk, you do save a lot of time. And another recommendation will be for always using a placeholder instead of an actual team member when creating templates, because team members might have multiple utilizations, allocations that come their way with across multiple projects. However, placeholders, which are skill based and role based, will not undergo that limitation. So you can put a placeholder here now and later replace it with a team member. So that's something that we'll talk about in a little while, but this is just a tip that we can give you. Moving forward to dynamic conditions. So we already saw that templates can be reused, but can they be used for projects with varying requirements? Yes is the answer, because we do have something called as dynamic conditions that can be applied to use the same project template for project plans and customers with varying requirements. An example here would be, not all projects might need an integrations phase that needs to happen, or custom development phase that needs to happen. So for you to decide if this integration phase needs to be part of your project plan at all, you can definitely set up a dynamic condition that says, hey, if the pre-sales team or anyone who is doing the handoff uh, says integration required is yes, then use this integration phase in the project plan. If they say no, then please remove this integration from the project phase itself. So that's basically how dynamic conditions work. It can be based on anything. For example, for customers who have ARR greater than 10K, you can include a hypercare phase, and so on. So it's basically the conditions you have, the rules you have in place, and the processes you follow, and your template can reconfigure itself to suit the requirements that come your way with respect to different projects. So that's basically how dynamic project templates work. And next is strategic resource allocation. So we all saw how we were able to bulk update certain fields in our project template, like duration, assignee, effort, and so on. So why does all of this matter? It does because Rocketlane not just allows you to plan your projects, but also plan your resources at the project planning stage itself. How you ask? It's easy, because whenever you update a robust project plan with effort and duration and assignee, Rocketlane automatically assigns placeholders and their duration each day with each task as auto allocations in your project template. So all you need to do is toggle on this button, and that will automatically populate all the information that you already gave inside your project plan, and it'll pull all the information about the effort required, duration required, and the placeholders added, and populates it here. So you can see that for the consulting services placeholder, it's 4 hours 45 minutes per day over the course of the project. So that's exactly what is taken up from inside your project plan itself, and how automatically Rocketlane can allocate resources for you. But if you're someone who is wanting to do manual allocations, we allow you to do that as well. You can just create a block and add or input the number of hours that particular placeholder needs to work on the project and the number of days they need to work on. So it's as easy as it seems. And auto allocate is a great option if you already have a robust plan with the effort and the assignees and the duration defined. So don't forget to save this for all your information to be saved up to date. And this is how auto allocate works, and in a project template level. And now we all have all the placeholders, but how do you actually allocate team members instead of these placeholders? That's exactly what we're going to see next under resource management. So with respect to resource management, Rocketlane has three things that it can do for you. First is, it lets you easily see the bandwidth of your team members based on their allocations on projects. So we have color codes as well, with the help of which you can at a glance identify who are all the team members who are overutilized, underutilized, or optimally utilized. So this is basically the page where you see it. And if you see any purple confetti over a team member, it means they have applied time off during that stage, which is 4th to 8th of March, and so on. So all that information is automatically pulled and populated here for you to glance at. However, when it comes to allocating people to projects, you can definitely narrow down on the project for which you're doing allocations using our filters. So here you can see that I've added a filter that says project name contains friends, and that's the project that we are going to do allocations for. Here you can see that all the placeholders that we added is seamlessly pulled and populated here. By just clicking this Find Team Member button, Rocketlane allows you to see all the team members who are best suited for this particular placeholder. So you can see that these are the team members who are best suited, and you also can see them in the descending order, meaning if someone is super available, they will be ranked top, and someone who is less available, they will be ranked at the bottom. So here you can see that someone who is available only for 23 hours is on top, for 22 hours is at the bottom. So their utilization rates is basically determined here, and you can choose the person most available by just picking their name and adding them to the project. But if you don't want to do this using the member button and you want to automate that entire process as well, that's where our Easter egg comes, because we do have this feature called uh, Resource AI. So it's basically an AI powered feature that plans the perfect team for you. So to do that, just click on the three dots near the project for which you want to allocate resources and open Resource AI. So this is a fully AI powered feature that lets you plan the perfect team for your projects. So here we are doing this for a project that we chose, and before going into how it is done, I'll give a heads up about the methods that the AI uses to bring about your perfect team. First is load balancing, meaning the team will see all the team members with the perfect utilization rates and assemble it for your projects. So when I say utilization, it's nothing but the number of hours allocated for your team members in relation to their work capacity. For example, if a team member has a work capacity of 40 hours per week and their allocations is 40 hours, then they are at 100% utilization. That's basically what utilization is, and that's the method that will be taken for load balance. Next is maximum margin. So if you are someone who is using rate cards for time and material projects, or if you're running fixed fee projects, or using financial management in Rocketlane, this is something that you can definitely use, because as you pick your team members, the system will show you how that will impact your profit margins for the project. I will show how that looks like in a bit. Finally, you have the manual method of curating the perfect team, where you get to swap and switch team members that AI picks for you. So first, let's go with load balance method and see how AI plans that for you. So I just clicked on plan, and it takes a few seconds to bring about the perfect team for you. So you can see that the system has found you the best possible team with the best possible forecasted utilization. So when we say forecasted utilization, again, as I said, utilization is basically how your team members are utilized in projects in relation to their work capacity. However, forecasted utilization takes into consideration the number of hours this exact project will take from your team members' bandwidth, and the total utilization that they will have if they're part of this project. So that's basically what forecasted utilization is. And if you're unhappy with any of the team member choices, you can just swap them with a different team member, and the system will automatically show you some options to pick the right team member. So you will have a find team member button that you can use. Let me quickly show you. Yeah. So you will have a find team member button that shows up. Here you can see the utilization rates of other team members who may also be a perfect fit for your project. So by just choosing that team member, you can replace the existing team member with this team member. So that's basically how you swap team members who you're not really satisfied with, and then build your perfect team. To the right, you can see all the placeholders that come from your resource plan. And here you can also see the already assigned allocations to the project. So since this is a project that is not billable, meaning it doesn't have any financials to it, you only see these. But here is a project that actually has some financials added to it. So this is how it looks like, where you can see the amount added, the cost that it incurs from allocating these team members, and the profit that you'll make if you use these team members in your project. So here also, if you're not satisfied with the margin you're making, you can just remove a team member and replace them with a different team member. So as you pick a different team member, you can see how that affects your margin. Poor choice because my margin has come down, but you can use this opportunity to go for the best margin as well. So this is how a maximum margin method looks like. So under choosing a method, if you use maximum margin, your goal is to have higher profits in your project and have a team that will contribute to that. So that's also something that you can pick and choose based on your goals for your company. And finally, you can go ahead and allocate these team members as either permanent hard allocations or tentative soft allocations. And finally, you assign and allocate, and that's it. So, with the click of four buttons, you're able to find the perfect team for you using Resource AI. So, that's our aim as well, to kind of automate everything from project creation, resource planning to resource allocation for you. So, this is how all the projects and the resources allocated to them looks like. So that's about resource allocation. And finally, we have project updates. So again, our aim is to kind of reduce the time that you spend in creating the same things over and over again. So we have templatized project update templates as well. So if you're sending out project updates to your customers, all you need to do is set it up once and use it always. So I have set up a bi-weekly onboarding summary template that just was built using drag and drop. So let me quickly show you a new project update template itself. Let us call it weekly updates. And I can drag and drop the summary card here. And I can also write some information here. Find this week's project summary. So you can customize it all, and you can also use these styles and add tasks that are completed, blocked, upcoming, in progress, and so on. And you can also choose the timelines within which task is completed or upcoming or whatever the status is. So since it's weekly, I'm going to choose 1 week. And you can also talk about milestones that you completed in this week and add those. So let me just drag and drop it here. And upcoming tasks also can be added. So to do that, I'll just choose upcoming as my status and add all the tasks. So these are all placeholders. When you use it in a project, the actual tasks will get added. And that's it. That's how you easily build a template for project updates. You can also use our toolbar to add basic information to your template. And this is what I was talking about when I said automation, because you can enable auto publish of these templates and schedule it on a weekly basis. So here it's weekly, so I am doing 1 week. If it can also be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever your choice is. And you can also set up, so these auto publishing may not be done for all projects. You can set up conditions that say, hey, if the project name contains friends, then you do this auto publishing for those projects alone. And you can also set the time, and with the schedule that you set up, the project updates will automatically be sent to all the members part of the project. So I'll show you an example of how this email looks like. So it's basically an update that I received, and this is how exactly what the team members and the customers will see when they receive the email. So how do you put it in a project? So this is auto enabling, but if you want to add a template to a project, all you need to do is go to the exact project for which you want to publish project updates. And if you don't see project updates here, just click on these three dots and make sure project update is enabled. Go into project updates and create an update. Here you can choose from an existing template. So I'm saving this so that I can see it here. So you can see that the template that we just created also pops up. So this is a template that I created earlier. So I just chose that template, and this is how it looks like. You can add a beautiful subject line that's customized to your customers, add all the team members, or edit it and add only select team members, CC a few people, and send out the project update. So before sending out, you can definitely add images or tables or even smart fills that can help you bring about project data seamlessly. So if you want to add a smart fill here, you can just click on smart fill and add project name as a smart fill. So you can quickly see that central perk got populated here. So that's basically how you design your project update template before you send it out. So after you send it out, the customers will, or the team members will receive it as an email, as you see here. And as they reply to this email, it'll come into your conversation section. So any update you send can receive feedback as well. So if your customers reply to that email of the project update, that will come in as a message here, and you can also reply to them from here, and they will get it in their inbox. So that's how easily you can collaborate without having to, log into a system and type out a comment or anything. So that's how you keep your customers in the loop, keep them updated, and have them as part of your journey as well. So that's the last bit of this onboarding journey we were talking about using automations. Thank you so much for staying there and being here. Thank you so much, Bala, for taking care of the chats. It's amazing. All right, thanks everyone for your time. I really loved this webinar. Looking forward to the next one in the next 15 days. Hopefully, we also bring you another topic that's really exciting for you and your team members. Thank you so much.